All right guys, today we're heading out to XRP. It's a really, really sticky track. We've never been on a radial prep type surface before, so pretty exciting. Anxious to see what we can do with the truck. Our goal today is literally just to go as fast as we can and not shake the crap out of the tires. We'll dive right into it here. This first pass is just gonna be a little bit easy because like I said, we're a little bit worried about the shake, but we're gonna feed in full boost pretty quickly. So there's barely gonna be any progression because I think we have the grip. We'll just keep adjusting and turning it up to go as fast as we can. Also, Tanya might hop into the car, so that should be fun. See if we can knock the rust off of her. She hasn't been in a car in a while, so hopefully she does well. Listen to that sound. It's so sticky. I'm not gonna know what to do with all that.
Everybody ready to catch some fish line right here. This Mustang putting down a lot of power.
I guess. I didn't go on the tree because it took me a little bit longer to get up on the converter than I thought it was going to, so I started late. So I was like, screw it, I just want to get good data. So we'll take a look at the log, but it did not waste a single tire rotation. It is sticky out there. But good news is it didn't shake either. So yeah, I think we're in good shape. We'll take a look at the log, but I can turn it up from there. We'll see how it does. So I had to take a moment to talk about something that happened that we didn't get on video. So after that first pass, some guy, I mean literally I just get out of the truck and some guy comes over and literally gets in my face yelling at me, asking me who told me to do that. I had no idea what the hell the guy was talking about, and he just kept saying like, who told you to do that? Who told you to do that? Dude's like this close to my face. I think what happened was he bet on that race, not realizing that I was just testing. I raised the RPM so that we could launch a little bit higher because I knew we could on this surface.
and it took a little bit longer to get to the launch control point. And so instead of leaving when I knew I had to in order to race the guy that I was next to, I just stayed on the launch control to make sure that I built the boost that I wanted to test out. And so obviously the other guy won, and I think the guy bet money on it. And I think he bet on me. So since I just sat there and basically, gave the win away, he was all pissed off at me. So, which I think is ridiculous. If that's going to be the type of thing that we run into at this track, I mean, I don't know how often we'll come back, because that's stupid. To everybody out there that does side bets, don't bet on a race well, two things. One, if you're not ready to lose that money, don't freaking bet. If you're going to get angry if you lose that money, don't bet. And two, if you don't know anything about the car, don't bet on a car that you're not even sure is fast. You're not even sure if it's on full boost. It could have a giant turbo sticking out the hood, but he's on 4 PSI, just shaking down a setup. So don't give us any shit for a bet that you lose because you didn't know that we were going out there and just testing something specific. I could have made a half a pass. I could have only gone out there and just wanted to see if the tires would shake at the RPM that we were launching at, or easing out of it because I was worried about breaking something and just testing what boost it would go up to make sure that we had control. Like tons of different scenarios that he shouldn't have bet on. And that's completely his fault. I don't give a shit that he was angry about it, but it just kind of baffled me. That's the first time that anybody's ever come over and gotten angry at the person that they bet on. That's your deal. You could be, you're not going to get angry at a quarter for showing heads when you're betting on quarters. So don't come over to any racer and get angry about their performance that you bet on. That's your deal. You're gambling. It's your risk.
Screwed up.
What'd you do?
Oh, I don't know. It spun though.
Why'd you go to the left?
Because it spun.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if the tire pressures weren't even because the gauge we were using, I think, might have been maxed out. So we didn't actually know what the pressure was.
Oh.
So on that one, I stayed on launch control a lot longer. That was a higher RPM, higher boost than we normally shoot for. So hopefully it logged and I can actually see it now, but I want to make sure that the tires are even this time. Because yeah, it just spun. I got back into it and it hooked, but it was just too much on the hit, I guess. So we'll take a look at the log and then just decide what to do. I don't think it was just the track. I think I just overshot it a little bit. So probably take a little bit of RPM out to soften it up a little bit, but leave the boost that we were leaving at. So give that a try, see what it does.
That's right. Now watch your diesel, please.
gas. We're getting ready to go to the staging lanes, but the rear end's making weird noises. Can't tell if it's just the tires are really sticky or if something's wrong. Let's jack the rear up like Aston did. Jack the rear up and turn it, make sure it doesn't feel funky. It's only when we turn, but like the tires usually aren't that sticky.
That sticky?
No. So Aston had the same problem when he came back. He said the rear end was like the tires were gripping. They were like hopping really bad. Oh no, he's a bunch of smoke coming from that one. And ours were doing the same thing when I came into the pits, but I just figured it was the tires chattering. She started turning out and it was really noisy, but we're driving around now and it's gone away. I think the tires were just that grippy. The concrete's really clean here too. We're used to, I don't know. We're used to going in like, dirt and stuff once we get into the pits, where the tires are all slick as hell and it's, no problem at all. But this track's so freaking sticky and the ground is so clean, I guess they just start chattering really bad. So, alright, all good. You good?
I think so, if I remember what to do.
Yep.
Mash the brake, first, second, third. You gotta tell me to, what you call it, and then trans brake.
Yep. Just work it out. I mean, you don't have to like make a pro pass or nothing. So, all right, we'll see how this goes. Good. It's like riding the bike. Take your time. Luckily, she knows when to pedal. What did it do?
Everything.
No, you pedaled when you needed to. That was perfect.
I fucked up my burnout so bad, I went into third.
Well, yeah, you're supposed to go in third. Oh, early? Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. But that's why I had a hard time all of a sudden. Yeah. What was the time?
62.
Ah, shit. Yeah. I was hoping it was going to mile an hour out.
It was so bad. My best time is 6:0.
Yeah. They're trying to get her to 5s. That was a good pedal, though. You needed to. It was going. But
it leaves a lot better, like a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it leaves good. All right, so we called it a day at the track. Some good news and some bad news. We'll talk more about that in a second, but I gotta get this thing unloaded and back into the shop. It's supposed to be cold again, so probably want to put the heater on it so we don't push another freeze plug out.
the garage safe and sound. Everything in one piece. Truck did pretty good. I guess some of the positive notes are, one, the motor's still together. The freeze plugs are still in the heads, so that's all good news. The turbo definitely seems to be doing its job, and this last outing really exposed that. On the last pass that I did, it kind of exposed a couple of problems. But at the same time, exposed some positive things too. So one of the good things that it showed was we're able to run more boost than we could previously. The bad news is with this turbo, I am out of fuel if we try to run more boost than we were running previously. So even with the additional fuel pressure that we gave it on the dyno a couple videos ago, we're out of injector. I don't think we're out of pump. I think the pump can support more. So, but I do know that we're at 100% duty cycle if we try to go beyond about 20 pounds. So if you'll notice, on the last pass that we did, it was on the limiter for a good amount of time. So it was kind of on the limiter, at least I thought. Like, I couldn't tell whether it was breakup or on the limiter. But then when I grabbed the scramble button, which did a little bit more boost, it went straight to the limiter. Let go of the boost, pedaled, got back in it, still on the limiter. So the problem that we're running into is, because we should not be anywhere close to running out of gear, especially in the 8th mile. We have enough gearing in here for, you know, like a theoretical 155 or something like that. So the mile an hour that we were doing out there at XRP was not high enough to do that. So what it's showing us is that we knew we had too much slip going on with this transmission and converter combo. I think it's mostly the transmission. I know we've mentioned it in the past. Joe has been harping on me about getting the transmission pressure measured so that we can figure out whether it's an internal thing or a pump issue. And I haven't done that yet, but it is absolutely necessary now because we're out of gear entirely earlier than we should be. So it's showing that it has about 25-30% slip, which is way too much. We need to solve whatever problem's causing that. So the solution to that is this guy. Well, temporary solution anyway. This is the transmission that's supposed to be going into the El Camino. Previously it was meant for the Civic, and we are going to use that in the truck. So that's going to get us by to where we can at least be ready for if we want to go out to Texas 2K. Hopefully what happens is that transmission is running normal. That thing's brand spanking new, never been put in any car before. This one I got used from a friend, and I've been using it for about 3.5 years. So it's really not like a bad thing that we're having to do some maintenance on this transmission, figure out something that's going wrong with it, because of more than got our money's worth on it. For now, the plan is that goes in there, the transmission that goes in here gets fixed and gets put into the El Camino. That's gonna be the fastest way to get the truck back to where it should, hopefully even better than it should. I think we've always had this slip since the very beginning. We just didn't have enough power to really expose it as a huge problem. It being a pretty high slip might have actually helped on the street. So when we get this other transmission in there, we may have a totally different issue to battle, to where power control is even more difficult than it used to be, especially on the 1-2 shift. So we'll see, but we're probably going to do the next race that we got going on this coming weekend with this current transmission, because I know as long as I don't apply too much power to it, I know how it's gonna react. It's not like the transmission is hurt, it's just operating at way too high of a slip than we want for more top end, higher mile an hour stuff. So I think it'll work okay for our purposes for this weekend, but when we go to Texas 2K, I know it's weird, but we're gonna try some roll racing. For multiple reasons. One, I think it'll just be funny to have this truck out there doing roll racing. I don't think we'll do that well, but we're gonna try to do as good as we can. And the other reason is all of the other classes, as far as drag racing goes, are full because we took too long to decide whether or not we were gonna go. All right, so that's gonna do it for this one, but we got some good racing coming up here pretty soon, a little bit of street shenanigans, and then we will be back at XRP probably in a couple of weeks, but what I'm really excited for is to get that new transmission in there and then go back to Yellow Belly. I really wanna try to go as fast as I can at Yellow Belly. I think we can go really quick, and it's a fun surface, man. So I see us going back there pretty soon. Yeah, stay tuned for all that. We got more work that's coming up on the El Camino, obviously some work on the truck, and then plenty of racing in between. So as usual, like, share, subscribe, comment. It seems like there's a lot going on in the next couple of weeks, and we're kind of having a hard time deciding which place we should go to. So let us know where you think we should go in the comments, and we'll see you next time.